We scored in the first drive. That was good. We scored in the 2 minute at the end of the first half. We scored in the 2 minute in the second half, although there wasn't a penalty called on the throw to Calvin that would have probably put the game away for a shorter field goal. I thought we were, decent in situation on the first drive, and then that too many third and longs.
Whether it was working with DK in training camp or what you knew against an opponent in previous stops, how quickly did you become aware of how good he could be after the catch? Just run after the catch yards, and how beneficial were they for you guys against the Jets on Sunday?
Yeah, I think he had two of the bigger plays in the game. I think three of the most impactful plays of the game were probably, in no particular order, Kenny G's fumble that he forced, the 15-yard penalty on KJ's run, and probably DK's run after the catch on 3rd and 10 to start the game, after the pass to Pat to get us on 3rd and 10 as well for the conversion. It was an important drive to get started the right way, and I thought DK played how he plays in practice. The best players can make the practice like a game environment, so the game is not too big for him. I thought he had a nice game.
Aaron, kind of along those lines, you're talking after the game about DK sending you the text message with some of his thoughts about the Jets. What else have you learned just about the way DK prepares and the way that he practices that helps him on game days?
Well, he's about the right stuff. He cares about it. He cares about it enough to watch the film and to put in the time and take notes and ask questions and come over and sit next to me during the week at various times to try and get on the same page. So I love it. That's unfortunately not the standard around the league that I've been accustomed to. Now, it was a lot of times in Green Bay because those guys kind of saw what it was like with Jordy Nelson and then Randall Cobb and James Jones and Devontae got to watch that, and he was the next guy in line. So there's a way of going about it. But when you're lead dog in the room, he's also a great guy and prepares the right way. It makes it easy for the rest of the room to just follow his lead.
Aaron, now that you've gotten back through the game tape, what did you see from the pass pro? What areas maybe need to shore up some?
Yeah, I don't think I was moving that well, so I think I ran kind of into at least 1 or 2 sacks, so I got to do a better job of using my legs. I might be old, but I still feel like I can move around pretty good, and I wasn't moving the way I usually like to move. So I thought the protection was good for the most of the game. There's a couple of fundamental things to clean up, but Pat's take care of those guys, and I just got to get the ball out.
What do you think the reason was you weren't moving around the same? Why do you think you weren't moving around the same? Was it just first game action, or what do you think was behind it?
I was a little tight. Back was a little tight.
Rodgers said you gave him a lot of input, a lot of communication that he really appreciated. Do you have a playbook for handling a young guy in a situation like that?
No, just like to talk to him directly, and I really like Rod. I've got to know him during training camp, and I like what he's about. I like his attitude. He's a genuinely positive guy, and I got a lot of confidence in him watching my back.
A lot of people talk about Calvin Austin's speed and ability to hit on the long ball for getting deep. What does he do that makes him a versatile weapon for you to use? Because you hit him short, intermediate, and deep on Sunday.
I got to get him more opportunities. I had a chance probably to throw it to him down the middle on 3rd and 10 with about 6 minutes left in the game, and just got to trust it and let it go. Got to get him involved more. Got to get more targets for DK. I thought we got a lot of great production out of our new guys. I think you look at some of the guys we brought in; they all played really physically tough. DK, Janu, and Jalen especially. But I just got to give those guys more opportunities.
What excites you about getting to play in front of these home fans this Sunday?
I've been a part of. I missed the game in 13. Was it 13? Oh, in 17 I was hurt. So, in 2009 we played here? And 17 I was hurt. 2009, it was a good back and forth game. I feel like these fans are a lot like the Green Bay fans. Now, Green Bay is having some angst around how many people are selling their tickets. So hopefully there's not that much of that goes on, but I would say the thing I can say that I do know about Steeler fans is in the fourth quarter, in crunch time, when they had the ball at MetLife, it was loud, and that was our fans. So You know what kind of organization it is. Usually organizations like this in Green Bay, their fan bases travel really well, and that was really impressive to see.
Aaron, how did you feel after the game, and how have you focused your recovery efforts as you've gone on your career tailored that to what you need to do every week?
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good. I didn't take too many big shots, but I wasn't moving as well as I wanted to, so I made sure I got in the cold tub and got massaged Monday, Tuesday, which is pretty standard. Every time you go to a new city, you got to either bring somebody with you or find somebody who can work on you that you trust. So I figured that whole process out, and we got 16 plus more of these, so I'm going to get in that rhythm.
Aaron, with 4 touchdowns last week, you're now 1 away from tying Brett Favre's touchdown passing record, 2 from breaking it. Does that record have any significance to you, or what does it mean if you're able to pass that this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a longevity achievement. A lot of guys I've thrown touchdown passes to from a number of teams now. So a lot of guys are a part of that. Some of them, some touchdowns you make exceptional plays. Some, the scheme is so good, like the one to Jalen in the game, all I got to do is not screw it up. And then sometimes you throw a short one to a guy and he goes 60, and it goes in the column as the same. So there's been a lot of guys involved in that, including the guys blocking, the guys calling the plays. Every now and then I made some special throws that led to touchdowns, but I've been playing a long time, and it's a longevity thing that I'm proud of, but not a big deal.
One of the guys involved in that is Ruvel Martin. He's one of just 6 guys to catch touchdown passes from you and Brett. Do you remember the touchdown that you threw him in 2008 against the Saints?
I do. It was a nothing touchdown because we were down like 3 scores at least at the time. We were down by 24 at the time. So I love Ru, though. Ru was my guy on the look team for 3 years, and I finally got an opportunity. And then he came back and coached with us for a couple years. But, I love one of my all-time favorite teammates, Ruvel Martin.
Aaron, how did that in-game relationship work with Arthur? How did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I think it was good. I thought he called a really good game. Like I said, sometimes you make great throws for touchdowns. Sometimes you just got to not screw it up. And we had a couple that were, just don't screw it up. The scheme was so good and the execution was great. But I thought we got into a good rhythm. The best part is that we spend a lot of time together. A lot of time on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Friday I get a little break from him, usually in the afternoon. But we spend a lot of time talking about the game and what he likes and what I like, and maybe what he's thinking about getting to early on or later, and situational. So it's a good relationship.
Guys, 2 more. 2 more.
Aaron, you connected for some big third down conversions to your
That's a
tight
good
end.
question. He's talking over
I
here.
can't hear anything over there. You guys connected with some big third down conversions to your tight ends. How do you also interact with them or use them as offsetting decoys to set up other opportunities for other guys, considering their versatility, size, and skills as well?
Yeah, they're never going to be really decoys. Pat sits right next to me over there. Jono's down the end, Darnell's over here, and Connor's back behind us. But we're always talking about things on the field, and they're a smart group. They're a diverse group as far as their abilities and what they bring to the table. So they're never going to be decoys. We're trying to get them the football, and that's why we were in 12 so much on Sunday.
Last one here.
As far as looking at Seattle, it's just one game, but a lot of different week one with the Jets last week. At least you have 60 minutes of tape to look at from Seattle. What stands out about the Seahawks defense?
I think they're good on all the levels. We played them last year when I was with the Jets. They got some game wreckers up front. Leonard is, he's an incredible player. They traded for Ernest, and he's solidified in the middle. They drafted some good players in the back end. Obviously Spoon is a guy that kind of can play inside and outside at a really high level. Tariq's been playing for a while now at a high level. They got good ball skills. Josh comes in as a good player. What a great namesake on the back end, Kobe, and he's a ball hawk. And then Jay Love, the other safety. They're all real talented guys on the back end. But the scheme that Coach McDonald runs over there is kind of the Baltimore system. Obviously, he's put his own tweaks on it, but you have to be ready for a lot of different things, including pressure and coverage variation, and lining up in man and playing zone behind it, and holding shell and coming out of the shell at different times. So they throw a lot of things at you from a pressure standpoint, from a coverage standpoint, from a drop and defensive lineman standpoint that we're going to have to be ready for.
Did you think, by the look of the defense, you had an opportunity to bust a few after you got those catches?
No, sir. Whenever I catch the ball, I just look to, attack, get vertical as fast as I can, and it just so happened that it played out like that. We were playing the Jets.
How good is Aaron at putting the ball in a spot where you can do that quickly, catch and secure it, and go? How was that relationship developed in that regard?
Right. He's very well at, throwing us away from the DB to where we can just catch the ball and go upfield, because he's the one actually looking at the defense 9 times out of 10. My back is to the DB, or I don't know where they're at after I make a break.
You heard from any former teammates or coaches yet
Nah.
this week?
You steady trying to make this about them, cuz. No, I ain't heard from nobody.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, Seahawks fans, it's going to be a big deal for them. I'm sure Steelers fans are excited to see you out there, too, at home for the first time. What's the excitement just to get to Acrisure Stadium to make it about you?
Well, it's about us at the end of the day. Looking forward to playing in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. It's going to be my first time back here in a couple years, so just looking forward to the excitement of the first home game.
You made many pinball catches in your career?
I had one similar a couple years ago against the Eagles. Drew Lock threw it to me on our 2-minute drive. When Jax scored the final touchdown.
What's it like getting acclimated here versus you're drafted in Seattle? That's your first time going through everything. Was it a different process or a different feeling when you come in as a vet to get used to a new team and a new way of doing things?
No, man, because I let my my work ethic and I take this game very seriously. So my preparation speaks for itself. I'm gonna prepare like it's gonna be my last game or like the first game. My preparation is the same. I always finish everything that I catch. I'm always gonna work hard. So I think the way that I handle my business, just speaks to my teammates and the volumes of who I am as a football player and my character.
Where does that come from? Is there somebody from your dad being a football player growing up that instilled that in you, or where do you point to for how you develop that kind of mentality?
My dad for sure, but I've had a plethora of coaches, people that I've looked up to, mentors, in my life who I go to for advice or for their for me looking at something that I should work on, whether that be in my game or in my life. So, throughout my whole life, coaches, teachers, my dad is, yes, sir, a big one.
TK, you go from just facing one talented young corner in Sauce to another one in Devin. What are the particular notes that you know about him and how you have to match up with him and go back and forth?
Yes, sir. There are 32 great DBs on every team. So, it's just another week in the NFL for me.
TK, what did you learn about your other receivers in that first game?
I didn't learn nothing. Y'all just seen that. They've been making plays since the day I got here. Y'all just opened your eyes and decided to watch them, I guess.
What do you think they learned about you? I know you told us last week you were excited for them to see you on a Sunday. Did you mean your demeanor's a little different on game day than throughout the week here?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm a different type of a person, player. I get into my alter ego on game day.
Is there a name for that alter ego? Or?
Nah. It's just seek and destroy.
Did you have that alter ego when you were playing in college on Saturdays, or does that just come out on Sundays?
No, that's since I was playing in high school, I would say.
Mike sort of mentioned, of course, it was week 1, so there's a lot of unknowns, but there's an anticipation that Sauce was going to follow you quite a bit. Did that overall kind of go the way you anticipated, and at times when he wasn't on you, did you guys feel like you took advantage best as you could?
The defense has to, scheme up to try to beat us. We don't look at the defense and think they're going to be in a specific place. We come out with a play call and they got to stop us. That's just our mentality every time we line up.
DK, how do you feel you've developed, over the course of your career from your 6 years in Seattle up until now here in Pittsburgh?
I just think the way that I've matured and grown as a football player on the field and my leadership skills have definitely been honed in thanks to guys like Bobby, Russ, Tyler Lockett, Coach Pete, and especially being around these great players in this organization, great head coach. I've had a chance to learn from a lot of great people.
What does it say about the chemistry in your passing offense that you can have 7 different guys catch balls, 4 different guys each catch a touchdown, and do it so efficiently?
That just speaks to, I think, the testament of or the work ethic from our coaching staff and just how Eight, tries to get everybody involved. He's definitely going to throw it to the open player.
Aaron was talking about also just with your preparation, everything. He said you always have to end practice by making a catch. You want to end like a shooter needs to shoot and end on a make. What else? Is there anything else detailed that is part of your process that it's along those lines that's similar?
Just ending everything on a positive note. So if I get a drop, I always got a big eraser it, as Russ would call it, my rookie year. Make a catch, or like you said, a shooter. Ending on a make, or in the weight room, always do one extra rep of everything. So just the way that I carry myself and just the way that I view life is always ending on something positive.